my job is to help people create content, in this case, podcasts or live streams. We stream it over YouTube. We stream it over our internet radio station. We turn it into recorded podcasts. And so we can help get it online. But everybody thinks that's where it stops. Oh, great. I created a show. I created some content. I put it on YouTube. I'm done. And I say, that's just the beginning. When I was in real radio, I was in what they now call terrestrial radio, legacy radio, old-fashioned radio. We put a lot of effort into creating a show, to getting a guest, but then we streamed it out over a radio tower, and within minutes, it evaporated. It was gone. If somebody was listening, great. If nobody was listening, too bad. Tune in tomorrow. When the show was over, it was over. We never did anything with it. It was all about creating the content, putting it out into the ether, not the Ethernet, but the ether, it would just sort of evaporate and disappear into the world. Now, when you create content, whether it's YouTube or a podcast or a written blog or pictures on Instagram, all this stuff, you got to push it. You got to do something with it. It isn't enough just to create it, and it's a two-step process. You got to post it somewhere. I can't just take a picture. I got to put it up on Instagram. I got to write something about it. I got to put it on Facebook. I got to write something about it. I got to create a video and write something about it. So there's an effort, a back-end effort that you got to do something with it. And then you got to push it. Otherwise, it gets lost in the sea in the noise. It's a bunch of clutter out there. And so it isn't just you helping them make life easier. You're making it work. If it doesn't, we could have the best show in the world and I could stream it everywhere I stream it. But if nobody edits it and posts it and pushes it afterwards, it's like old-fashioned radio. It just evaporates. It just disappears. So I think that's a really important part of the process. And I tell you from my own perspective, I've been doing this now 12 years, 13 years.
Wow.
How many years, Dr. Trinh and I have been doing it? 3 or 4 or 5 years or something. It's a real eye-opener to content creators when they realize, you mean I not only got to create the stuff, I got to publish it, I got to promote it? Yeah, I can do some of that. It's a three-legged stool. OC Talk Radio has a certain audience, and we can help push it and promote it. But the host, like Dr. Trinh, is using it internally to their social media feeds, to their Facebook live feeds, to their TikTok channels. That requires somebody to do it. And that's an effort that most content creators aren't ready to do or are stunned the amount of work it takes to do that. Talk about that, Dr. Trinh. There's a lot of back-end work to make this. It's like a regular radio show or a TV show. There's a lot of production that has to go on.
It's like the Wizard of Oz. Remember how you meet the wizard at the end?
Yeah, he pulls open the curtain.
He looks like some big, scary wizard, but when you open the curtain, he's this little guy.
Right.
That's this big old production.
Right.
And that production is because of the team that produces, his image of the Wizard of Oz.
And I'll tell you, the number one reason that all of this stuff fails, we'll call it all social media, whether it's audio like a podcast or video like YouTube or even written stuff like blogs and other things, it fails because it's inconsistent. You don't do it on a regular basis, so people never know when the next one's coming out, and they give up. They don't follow you. They quit looking for it because they never know when it's going to come out. Or even worse, I see people create stuff and then they don't do anything with it, or they don't promote it. So it's like they stuck it in a drawer. We go to all this effort to get a great show, and then we just stick it in a drawer. I'll publish that later. I'll do something. I'll pull out a piece later. I'll write something about it later, and later never comes. So it's like, why do all this? And so people give up podcasts, video, all this stuff because they go, I love doing the show. I love telling stories. I love meeting people and the conversations. I hate the back end work. I hate the publishing and promoting. And I don't do it very well, and therefore it kills the whole project here. Talk about that. Well, you must have lots of clients that have that. They come to you not just to save time, but to save the whole project. Otherwise, the whole thing fails and they give up.
Yeah, and the thing is, Paul, is that whenever you are introduced to podcast and its potential, as a person who wanted to do the podcast, you will be enamored by it. But once you get to the reality of it, the back end, the platforms, the things that you want, you need to learn in terms of how to put your content out there, that's where things gets overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are not prepared to do such things and you have a lot of things on your priority list, you might kiss your podcasting dreams goodbye and be hindered by these.
Right.
Yeah.
Or in the same thing,
Yes.
YouTube, TikTok, Instagram,
Yes.
all these
Yeah.
channels we have
Exactly.
available to us. If you don't realize what you're getting into and have a team to help you,
Precisely.
you can drown in the details. You can give up doing it, not because it doesn't work, but because you don't have the time to make it work or the team to make it work.
Yeah. Can I add to that, Paul? Because there was something about what you said earlier that I really wanted to just nail down.
Mhm.
And it's about extending the life of your content.
Yes.
I love what you said earlier about the radio show just evaporating into thin air. That's where we come in, and that's what we really thrive on and we get excited about. Like, we like extracting the gems, the treasures inside each episode
Right.
to highlight something that, Dr. Trinh said something about this, and Paul made a very witty comment about this episode. So
Always.
you'll
That happens always. But,
always.
yeah, that-
So you'll definitely see those tidbits, those clips, that footage here and there. We're going to quote you. And the beauty of it is that if you go to Dr. Trin's page and any of our clients, most of the content you'll see are things that you guys said like 6 months ago, 8 months ago, red light therapy, CBD. These episodes
Yeah,
are like
right.
3-4 months old. But when you read it, it's still fresh information and you get so much value out of that 1 hour
So
that
let's-
you guys talked about.
Let's talk about that for 1 second, because that was to me a shocker when I started this 12, 13 years ago. I thought it was all about creating the content, good conversations, good guests, good information, right? And I still believe that. But I didn't realize that it isn't like the old movie, the Kevin Costner movie, Field of Dreams. Build it and they will come. If I simply create good content, somehow it'll get found virally. Somehow people will share it. Somehow magic. All I do is just put it out, and then the magic of the internet discovers it and finds it and everything. It isn't that easy, particularly in today's world, because when I started, there were 250,000 podcasts. Imagine that. There were only 250,000 podcasts. Now there's 2.5 million and growing. Might be 3.5 million. The simply channels like TikTok and Instagram didn't exist. So now you've got all these places to do this stuff here. And it just means that you get lost. If you don't do it right, you don't do it regularly, you just do it randomly and whenever you feel like it. All that effort goes to waste if you don't promote it and push it out there